Hi friends, I'm Gio, and thanks for visiting my channel. Let's get started. "You have to be kidding me," the lady sitting at the computer next to mine said, and I agreed. Across my screen, it said, "Error, network not responding. Please try again later." This wasn't happening. The Monday after Thanksgiving, I sat at one of the free library computers, conducting a search for an ancient Roman artifact and writing my 10-page first draft for my Roman history class. The end of semester paper is finally due, and I'd drawn the obscure topic, Ara Pacis Augustae. The professor literally had us draw from a hat. I'm Scotty, regular name Scott Nolan, and the professor wanted the rough draft by this Friday, and the final draft was due the following Wednesday. It meant that I would work non-stop putting this paper together for the next week. Except the computer wouldn't let me. Once again, I tried typing. The library network gave the same error message. My paper was lost somewhere in Network Neverland. All my work for the day would get erased as soon as the computer was shut off. I'm so screwed. I went up to the guy at the counter. Brown hair, blonde highlights, amber eyes, brass-framed tinted glasses. Slender. He wore a gray sweatshirt and faded jeans and worn hiking boots. His smile was sincere and warm. I'd guess he was 21, like me. He spoke on the phone. The person on the other end yelled loud enough for me to hear him. "I want you to come back. No hard feelings, okay?" the voice said. "No, Andy. You dumped me, remember? What was it you said? You wanted a man who lived a real life, had a real personality. I quote, 'A sack of potatoes would be more fun.' And then you kicked me out because I wasn't exciting enough for you. Guess what? I'm not getting back together with you. Like you told me, it's over," he said, randomly typing on the computer, but getting the same error message I got. "I didn't mean it. Not like that," the voice whined. "Yes, you did. Goodbye, Andy. Don't call back." He hung up and sighed. This was obviously a bad time, and if it weren't so important, I'd walk away, but I couldn't. I tried to be as pleasant as I could. Relationship trouble? My ex-boyfriend left me for another man, and they lasted 2 weeks before splitting. Now Andy wants to get back together with me. "Anyway, what can I do for you?" he said. I was working on my paper when the computers went on strike. "Did I lose all my work?" I asked. The guy made a quick call and spoke with someone before responding. "Bad news. The main servers went down. Nobody knows why," he said. "What about the paper I was working on? Can you retrieve it? I'll take you out to lunch if you can help me out," I said. He shrugged, but a timid smile appeared. "I can check on it. Give me your name, the name of the document, and your phone number, and I'll text you when I know something," he said. "Scotty Nolan, and it was a research paper about the Ara Pacis," I said, and wrote down the information. I left. When I got to my morning class, the professor said, "With the network still down, I can't access grade information or my notes for the next few classes. I imagine it is inconvenient for you as well. Therefore, I will not dock points if your first draft is turned in, handwritten, but it is still due this Friday." Handwritten. Oh God, what a nightmare. I was too busy at work to check calls or texts. I worked at Fashion Cat Chic, a clothing store at the mall. We sell the latest fashions for both men and women. Nights are busy, especially with people getting ready for Christmas. The store closed at 9, and I got home by 10. The guy from the library never called or texted. My entire future depended on the kindness of a stranger. Borrowing my roommate's laptop, I looked up articles about the Ara Pacis and tried to remember the outline and history of Augustus and the Ara Pacis before I gave up and went to bed. Admit it, this couldn't have happened at a worse time. A text woke me at 7 the next morning. I rescued your paper and saved it on a thumb drive. My shift starts at noon. Stop by. I didn't recognize the number, and there wasn't a name. It had to be the guy from the library. I texted back, "Lunch is on me." After class, I went to the library. The guy I had talked to sat at the counter watching over the free-use computer area and had an external disk drive pulled apart. I guess he was fixing it. The computer area was empty. All the computers were shut down, except for his laptop. It had some type of diagram on the screen. I assumed it was for the external hard drive he was working on. As I approached, the guy held up a thumb drive. "I retrieved this, Scotty, my friend," he said. A gentle smile crossed his lips. "Let's see," I said. He plugged the thumb drive into his laptop and opened one of the documents on it. My paper on the Ara Pacis came into view. Plus, this guy had downloaded 8 articles and JPEGs about the artifact. "How'd you rescue my paper?" I asked. "When the network fritzed, it froze every computer connected to it. I disconnected the computer you were on, typed a couple of commands, inserted the thumb drive, and here you go," he said, giving me a cute smile. He stood up and slung a pack over his shoulders. "Ready?" "Won't you get in trouble for leaving?" I asked. "With the whole library shut down, who'd care? Besides, I'm not the only one headed out to lunch. No checkouts, no internet, no access to the network. This place is a cemetery," he said. "What happened to the computers?" I asked. The guy slightly shook his head. According to a friend, some idiot who didn't know what he was doing was performing an update on the system and fried the servers. The university should have hired someone who knew what they were doing, he said. "Like you?" I asked. "I'm good with laptops and desktops, but not networks, and definitely not the size of the network needed to run a college," he said, adjusting his glasses. I tapped the thumb drive and gave him a sexy half-grin. This guy was adorable in a brainy sort of way. "Thanks for saving my paper." "What an excuse for a first date, and I don't even know your name. Remember, I'm buying." The guy smirked and disengaged the thumb drive, then handed it to me. "Kurt Balsiger. First date it is. Today's Italian Day at the Student Services Building, and I'm hungry." "Kurt, it's my pleasure to buy you whatever you want," I said, as we left the library. "In a way, I have to thank you. My best friend will finally get off my back for not having a social life," Kurt said. "What do you do in your free time besides saving innocent men from vicious computers?" I asked. Kurt chuckled. "That's only a hobby. Currently, I'm saving the world as Commander Doberman Virus 333. I'm an online gamer and playtester." "Now that sounds interesting. Well, Commander Doberman Virus 333, this is one innocent student who is very grateful for the rescue," I said. "You'd better be. I haven't eaten breakfast, so I'm really hungry," he said. We leaned together and chuckled. It was a moment shared. Something about the way he stood close, or the way we looked at each other. There was something electric, something hard to describe, some kind of attraction. Did Kurt feel it too? By the way he smiled, I think so. This could be the first step into something magical. "Kurt, wait up!" some lady yelled behind us. We both turned to see who it was. A middle-aged woman in a frumpy floral smock quickly walked towards us. "It's my boss," Kurt said. She slowed as she neared us, adjusting her glasses. "Kurt, I'm glad I caught you. Am I interrupting something?" "Mrs. Letteridge, let me present my date," Kurt said, nodding towards me. "Call me Scotty, ma'am. We're heading out for a quick lunch," I said, offering my hand. She shook it, eyeing me up and down. "Kurt, you picked a cutie, and a keeper if he's taking you to lunch," she said. "We only met yesterday," Kurt said. "Young love happens so fast. Which reminds me, there was a gentleman looking for you," Mrs. Letteridge said, as the three of us headed toward the Student Services Building. "What did he want?" Kurt asked. He didn't say, but he carried some flowers, Mrs. Letteridge said. Kurt turned to me and rolled his eyes. Sorry, Scott. My ex won't take no for an answer. I thought he dumped you, I said. So did everybody else. Maybe if I ignore him, he'll get the idea I don't want to be around him, Kurt said. Name any television show where that has ever worked, I said. If he shows up, tell him no. I'll let you two be alone. When you get back, Kurt, give the Shelvers a hand, Mrs. Letteridge said. We paused a minute, letting Mrs. Letteridge get ahead of us, and we chatted about classes, computers, even pets. My place allows dogs, but a lot of places don't. Do you have a dog? I asked. An Australian Terrier, Kurt said, his shoulders relaxing. She's not very big, but she is loud and possessive. She didn't like my ex. I leaned close and whispered, Sounds like the dog had good taste. Kurt softly chuckled. His smile made me happy. You still have that thing, a voice said behind us. We turned to see who it was, and Kurt suddenly grabbed my hand. His gentle smile vanished. The guy was heavy-set, unshaven, had hair down to his shoulders, and wore a long-sleeved, button-down black shirt. He carried a bouquet of bright yellow and white daisies. Kurt completely froze. He didn't say anything. You must be Andy, I said. I didn't offer my hand. Whoever you are, I want... No, make that need. To talk to Kurt alone. This is private business. Leave, Andy said. Kurt's hand was cold, and it shook a little. However, he had found his voice. Andy, I'd like you to meet my date. What do you mean, date? I'm your boyfriend, Andy said. You dumped me 2 weeks ago for some guy you met at a club, remember? Kurt said. So I moved on. It wasn't hard either. I moved into the dorms and am much happier because I don't have to deal with your drama. Why don't you leave me alone? Andy held the flowers like they were a shield and said, Things didn't work out with that guy, and I missed you. You won't believe this, but I missed you being in charge of the budget. I can't handle the finances like you can, and if I ever needed information for a paper, you could find it. Even the dumb stuff, like finding that rare hammer in that online game. You found a walkthrough that led me right to it. And the way you can follow a recipe, it was like we were eating from a restaurant every night. I admit it, I'm a bit of a slob. The apartment became a dump within a week after you were gone. You took care of the place and didn't complain. I didn't realize how good I had it until I fell for a guy who was just like me. Sure, the sex was mind-blowing. You could take lessons about that, but there is more to life than what happens between the sheets. I want us back together. You took care of me, so tell your date to get lost and come back to me. I took a quick look at Kurt, at the terrified way he clutched my hand, at the subtle pleading in his eyes. Should I get involved? Did I have a right to be here? To intervene? Did I want to be a part of their drama? I think I could guess what had gone down, and it was deeper than what Kurt had let on. His kindness in rescuing my paper touched some part of my soul. Maybe Kurt needed someone to stand up for him, or at least show him how. Kurt can cook restaurant good? I asked. He made this classic French dish that took 2 days to prepare. It was heaven. It was so good I devoured it in 5 minutes, Andy said. And he knows how to handle the finances and keep his place looking good? I asked. He had my place showroom perfect. It didn't matter how much of a mess I made. He cleaned it up, Andy said. So why did you dump him? I asked. Andy puffed up his chest and spoke to me as if Kurt weren't around. He said, Duh. I guess you don't know the guy. His idea of a good time is sitting on the couch, cuddling. I'd take him clubbing, and while me and my friends were getting drunk and having a party, he'd be off in some corner looking miserable. I've never seen him get drunk. He has only an occasional glass of something Italian. Limoncello, I think. Kurt makes it himself in the fridge, and he got mad at me once for drinking it. Why did you drink it? I asked. I had a bad day at work, and I needed to pick me up when I got home, Andy said. Get this, Kurt even turns his phone off. Does anybody do that? And he rarely wanted to have sex, if ever. I mean, I'm not an every night kind of guy, but every few days. "A man has needs," Andy said, "but I'll take him back, in spite of his flaws. Who else would want him?" Kurt had gone pale. His hand left mine, and he folded his arms. He didn't look at either of us. I inwardly smiled at the irony, but kept from showing any emotion. "In other words, will you go out and party hardy? Kurt would rather indulge in an evening picnic with someone special and share a romantic fettuccine with an authentic homemade ragu, simmered all afternoon until it reached perfection and smelled divine, then quietly watch the sunset snuggling with his boyfriend while sipping hard lemonade, and eventually they would feed each other ice cream. They could spend the night talking and fall asleep in each other's arms if they're not careful. Come morning, his boyfriend could take him back to his place, and they'd have crepes topped with a strawberry and blueberry sauce, and feed each other fresh berries." "Boring. That's why nobody wants to be with Kurt," Andy said. I placed an arm around Kurt's shoulders and drew him in, close. "Andy, I wasn't talking to you. I'll make the ragu, Kurt. It's Grandma's old recipe, and I think you'll love it, especially after it simmers for 6 hours. You bring your limoncello and the garlic bread. It's supposed to be cool Saturday night, so we'll need a blanket. 6 o'clock, meet at my place. There's a park nearby with an excellent view westward. If it gets too cold, we can go back to my place, pop popcorn and watch videos, and—" "Are you stealing my boyfriend?" Andy yelled. "Andy, Andy, Andy. You kicked an amazing man out of your life, and you weren't grown up enough to realize it. If you'll excuse us, we'll need to plan our first date." "First date?" Andy yelled. "Amazing?" Kurt whispered, his eyes locking on mine. "Because of you, I'll have my paper finished, so yes, you are amazing. And first date? Because I have a feeling we're going to have many more," I said. "But it's up to you. You can go back to your ex and be his maid, or stick with me and let's see where the sunset takes us." Kurt's eyes opened wide and his delicate smile suddenly blossomed. "I'll make the sauce for the crepes." The end. Thank you everybody for joining me. If you would, I'd appreciate it if you could leave a like or even subscribe. It helps my channel grow. See you next Wednesday. Peace.